As Barry mentioned, my name is Przemek, and I work here at EDC for GE Aviation. And today, I'm gonna show you something that may save you hours if you don't only code your applications, not only make a front end. You can also make backend with Node.js, but you can also share it to the world. You make this infrastructure, deploy it, like do the DevOps stuff. If you do that, it will save you hours. If you don't do it, it will show you how you can do it easily with the skills you already have. So what are we going to do now, today, is we're going to develop the Hello World application. It doesn't matter what it does, because it just serves the purpose to show you how to deploy it. So actually, this application is quite beautiful. It has a header, button, and some dynamic content that does not work. I'm a front-end developer, so I did a front-end. But I am also a backend developer because I know JavaScript and I know Node.js. So with that, I can run my app. It worked. And let's see if it works now. Yeah, it works. So it did some serious business logic and gave us some string. So we got the front end, we got the back end, and what do we want to do next? We want to share this application with the world. It's very beautiful, and I just shown it to the 300 people, but I want more. So I bet you can, all of you can name at least a few different possibilities to share the application. But today we are going to be using the AWS. This is just a copyright disclaimer, so it has to be here. Who knows AWS? Okay, a lot of people. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Who has the account on the AWS? Who used it to deploy the infrastructure on a production? Couple of people only. So I'm going to teach you, who I am to teach you. I'm going to show you something that will allow you to do it. So since some of you don't know AWS, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to the services that we are going to use. The first is Amazon S3, which stands for Secure Storage Service. You can think of it about like a unlimited FTP server, and we will utilize its possibility to host static websites. It can just be work as a server for your front end. The second we are going to use is AWS Lambda, and you think of Lambda like you think of a backend, but without a server. Like serverless backend. You just upload the code, and you can invoke it with using a number of events. And one of the events would be API call, which are going to be used with a service that is called API Gateway. An API Gateway is a service from Amazon that is fully managed API. You can serve a fully managed REST API with this. It can be easily scaled to any scale, literally any scale. You can use it to do a couple requests a month, but you can do it for a couple hundreds, thousands a second, and it will work because it's AWS. The same is with Lambda. Lambda is also scaling very well. So what next? We are developers, so we like to develop, and we not necessarily like to write the YAML files. I don't like. So there is a solution. So you can do it like, for example, using CloudFormation. When you have to do a lot of YAML, you can use different like Terraform technology, but they are not for developers. They are for more like a DevOps stuff. So today we are going to use the we are going to use the CDK. This is a video because it takes some time. I need to install the CDK first. This is a command line tool. It assumes that you already have your account and the Node.js installed on your computer. It's done. Next, we need to initialize our infrastructure. Infrastructure is like a construct of a CloudFormation, which keeps together a couple of services that you would like to somehow communicate with each other, or maybe keep them together, or maybe update the same way. So it is now initialized. It takes some time, so it's, as I said, this is a video. The last thing we need is to install some TypeScript dependencies that we are going to use to create our infrastructure, and it reflects what I said. This tool works a level above the CloudFormation. So those are S3 Lambda, AWS S3 Lambda, and API Gateway are the TypeScript constructs, and they are being called constructs actually by the documentation that they are classes. They are generating the YAML files for the development. So what are we going to do next? Coder is going to code. This is our Hello World application, and this is how it does look. Initiated stack. Stack is a group of services. Sorry? Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's start hacking. First, I'm gonna need some place to put my front end, and it would be an S3. And S3 basic thing is a bucket that I'm gonna create. S3 bucket. I'm gonna name it and I could leave it like this. It would create me a bucket that I can put my stuff there, but I need to be a static website server, so I need to show it what the index file is. It's good to also add the error document. Hopefully we won't need it, and make it public. It's done. I just created the bucket. So the next thing, we have a place to put the front end. Now, some place to put a backend. And as I said, we are not going to deploy it to some virtual server. We're going to use the code to create Lambda. Function, actually. And it needs some information, additional information. I want to have some code from somewhere, or maybe first, maybe more important, I need to specify the runtime. And it is like Node 10, because I know it works with my code. Now, where do I get the code? The code is, let me show you. The code is here. So this is here is the business logic of my application that is being served by the Node.js Express. And this is the same business logic, but constructed in a way the Lambda understands that. So the business logic is the same. The only difference is how we do construct the response. And I have it here locally. So this is called an asset. Okay, I have it here. And the last thing, I'm going to have to inform Lambda what code it would have to invoke. So it is handler. Index is the name of the file, and handler is the name of the function to be invoked, right? Okay, so we have a front end, we have a backend. Now we have to glue it together, and we are going to use the API gateway for that. REST API. That's it. I don't need to do anything else, because I don't know if you know the paradigm which is called convention over configuration, but if you do, you probably you'll understand that there is a lot of stuff being done after writing this line. You have to do many things, those of you who tried, to create the API from the API gateway. But the tool, the CDK, assumes that you are going to use it as it is used usually. So you don't have to specify anything. And if you want to override some configuration, you just pass it here. We don't want to do it, so that's not a problem. So the next thing is we're going to create the integration between the Lambda and API. Lambda integration and my Lambda. It's done. And the last thing we're going to do is to add a method to our API, because we now don't have a possibility to call it, to the root of this API, and add method, and it is going to be a get that will be pointing to our integration. That's it. I'm done with coding. Those I'm always doing this side, maybe this side. I was hoping that it will work. So I'm done with the coding. This is those, I don't know, less than 15 lines of code will construct me all the stuff that I was talking about. So how do we do it? We need to. I will shut down the application, so you know I'm not cheating. And now I'm going to get to the infrastructure, and the first I need to do is to build it, because it is going to create myself JavaScript files that can be read by the CDK tool itself to create the CloudFormation scripts. So besides TypeScript, it wasn't there in the morning, I promise you. So you can use TypeScript for a CDK. You can write this code in TypeScript, Java, Python, C#, and plain JS. But the tool will read the JavaScript, so you always have to compile it. So the next what I'm going to do is CDK synth. CDK synth will synthesize a CloudFormation script for me from the code I've written. So you will just, in a moment, you will see how many lines of YAML file it will create for us. And this is the best kind of code. The best kind of code is the code that you don't have to write, because it's writes itself. It should already be there. I don't know why it's taking so long. Maybe I will Yeah, it's done. So I will scroll up. Besides the things that we literally specified in the code, there are a couple of things that is creating under the hood, and we don't have, like, for example, IAM role for the bucket and for the lambda. A lot of stuff that is being created, and we don't even care about it. So this is the code that you've written, except the names. And this is the CloudFormation script. So the next thing we are going to do is to deploy the stack. And this is the end of our job, because everything, no, it is not the end of our job, because he asked me if I wanted to make some stuff public available. I made a bucket public available, and the API, I didn't get any security on it, so everyone can get it. So he asked me that, and now it's deploying. It's creating everything that we asked is now being created automatically. So those of you who are familiar with the very nice interface of AWS console can go into the AWS console and try to click through all of those services and try to do it faster. It is not very fast. It is like it is being a process, and we can watch it here actually. Infrastructure stack is being created, and it takes some time, but I'm sure that there is a very little people in the world that can do it faster. But the true power of it is here. My infrastructure stack was a 15 lines of code that could deploy my infrastructure to AWS. But you can do it manually. You can even update it manually for one region, for one availability zone. I don't want to get into much details what's the region and availability zone for Amazon, but you just can deploy it in different regions of the world with the same script, using the same method, using the code that you already have written, and it will take you the same amount of time, because it is going to be deployed parallel in every region. So if you wanted to make change, like for example, change the name of the bucket, you do it in one place, you make an update, and it's going to be updated everywhere. You want to change the security, add new roles, update the Lambda code, no problem. You just do it once, and you can deploy it. It is like only 4 lines of code, but it can be 15 different this configuration. This configuration can be. You can also deploy it for a couple of Amazon accounts. So I hope it's already done. Yeah, it's done. We can see it that it works. Create is completed. So the last thing we need to do is we need to update our front end with the address of our API, because you can, in fact, you could create another stack with there's a service that is called Code Deploy for Amazon that can do it for you. But today we are going to use this. So I make sure that I saved. So this is the resources that was created for us. Like I said, I created only 3 of them, but the CDK created a couple others. And the bucket, here's the bucket that we want to use. I'm going to upload my files. Open. Upload. And there is an index file. We can go. And we have our hello world application. And I don't know if you can see it. No, because the interface is not scaling. But you have to trust me that it is hosted by Amazon. And when I call the API, I get the response. So, thank you. I'm gonna make you sure that I'm not cheating. I call the API again, and you can see it is the Amazon URL being called. You can call it directly, and you see the response. The last thing I'm gonna show you is that now you decided that your application is ugly. So I'm going to destroy it. It's going to ask me if I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. And now all those services are being shut down. So those services I used, you pay for the invocation, so you don't have to worry about them. But some of them, like EC2, for example, if you use a virtual server to host your backend, you will pay for every second. And if you go with this and deploy it for 4 regions, you would pay for 4 servers for every second it runs. It can cost a lot. So with the one comment, I just destroyed all my stack. And as you can see, it is not working anymore. My website. Website is working because buckets have the destroy policy, which is called, I don't remember the name, but there's a property that you can set to remove the bucket. And the bucket is being kept by the Amazon because he cares about your data. I don't know why did he should make this bucket not public now. I don't know why. Maybe this is this is from the yeah. There is probably I had a cached version, so you can see that I don't have an access, but the bucket is not destroyed. Just the access is blocked. So that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. I hope you like that. If you wanted this application is here. I will also. After the presentation, I will make a tweet with a link so you don't have to care about that. And the last thing, I want to say that title was a clickbait, so DevOps, please don't hate us. We developers love you and we need you. We just want to make your life easier. Any questions?
First of all, applause, everybody.
Thank you.
Nice job. Nice job. I heard applause earlier, and I came running back inside. Like, did I miss it?
So,
do you have a question?
You deployed front-end files manually. Can you upload it
as I mentioned,
the SDK?
Yeah. Of course, you have to manually update the address of the API. Or you can, if you have your domain name and you know what will be the API address, you have to manually update the code, and if you commit it, you can have as I mentioned, the code deploy service from Amazon or Jenkins or whatever do it automatically. It can be uploaded to the bucket automatically. But I just did that because it would take so much time to do it. It's just a presentation, right? But you can do it. You can make it. And as you saw, the API gateway gave us an URL, so I had to update it manually because I didn't know that before.
Wow, prepared. One more question. We have time. I cannot see.
There's a question. I see.
Yes. Need a microphone.
Say it loud, and I will repeat it.
No. Just give the microphone. Where is it? Oh, Tom.
If you will have any other questions that we don't have time for, I'm here until the end of the day.
Well, when it comes to the serverless, I have one concern: the cost. Because
the cost?
Yes, because let's imagine you have heavy load the whole month.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't be the standard approach of EC2 instances and load balancer significantly cheaper
You have to
than
check it.
serverless?
You have to check it. You have to actually check it. You have the price calculator for Amazon that gives you. You price. I need 100 million requests. So 1 million requests is for free always. You can make a backend serverless backend with 1 million requests and you won't pay a cent. But be careful, because if you use 1,000,001 request, you will be charged for 1,000,001, not only for one. So you have to check it. You have to check it with a calculator. There is a dozens of Amazon services, and every single service serves the purpose. So probably for some people the EC2 will be cheaper, but for now I would have to pay, like, I don't know, maybe 3 cents for what I did, but I would have to pay. For Lambda I didn't have to, because I made 2 calls, right? It's not even close to million.
Yes?
Yeah.
So, okay. Uh-oh. Every time someone touches this microphone, it stops working. Okay, so po pierwsze, pan Przemek, he will be available to answer questions later, so this is important. But one thing I need to do right now is a selfie with you, sir. You ready?
Really?
Yeah, right now. Hang on. Wait. Reverse the camera.
You're making selfie for them now.
No, I want this. Yeah, there we go. That works. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. A big applause again.
Thank you.